let's go over some of the big news coming out just this morning. Because what we are seeing right now is there is a plethora of stories. There are speculation, there's a lot of different facts coming out, but I want to break down what's happening because we have some major updates from the Trump administration. We know that President Trump and the Chinese President Xi Jinping did speak on the phone just this morning, so got some updates there. And a major restaurant is going to close down, about 30 restaurants. This is actually pretty big because of the restaurant and what they're planning to do. But the reason why I'm bringing this to your attention is because this is actually what more restaurants are planning to do very soon. So I'll break all this down in just a moment. But first, all I ask is one thing. Takes 2 seconds. Go ahead, hit that like button if you enjoy these daily updates. And now let's begin. So first, let's start off with the news coming out of the Trump administration. Look at this. It says, Trump announces travel ban and restrictions on 19 countries set to go into effect on Monday. Now, why would the Trump administration ban travel from certain countries to the United States? Well, let's read it. It says right here, the ban takes effect Monday at 12:01 a.m., a cushion that may avoid the chaos that unfolded at airports nationwide when a similar measure took effect with virtually no notice in 2017. Trump, who signaled plans for a new ban upon taking office in January, appears to be on a firmer ground this time after the Supreme Court sided with him. Says some but not all 12 countries also appeared on the list of banned countries in Trump's first term. The new ban includes Afghanistan, Myanmar, Chad, the Republic of Congo, Equatorial Guinea, Eritrea, Haiti, Iran, Libya, Somalia, Sudan, and Yemen. Okay. Now, here's some restrictions though. There's heightened restrictions on these: Burundi, Cuba, Laos, Sierra Leone, Togo, Turkmenistan, and Venezuela. Okay? Now, I want to read you this. It's important. It says, in a video released on social media, Trump tied the new ban to Sunday's terror attack in Boulder, Colorado, saying it underscored the dangers posed by some visitors who overstay visas. The suspect in the attack is from Egypt, a country that is not on Trump's restricted list. The Department of Homeland Security says he overstayed a tourist visa. Trump said some countries had deficient screening and vetting or have historically refused to take back their own citizens. His findings rely extensively on an annual Homeland Security report of visa overstays of tourists, business visitors, and students who arrive by air and sea, singling out countries with high percentages of remaining after their visa expired. Trump says, we don't want them. Now, at the same time, you're seeing the Trump administration is pulling money away from certain universities. Like this article says, people overstayed their visas for tourism, business, even for students going to college. And so what the Trump administration is doing is, instead of just pulling all the money from colleges, okay, he's saying we are just not going to accept those people. We are just not going to accept international students from those countries. Simple enough, right? Yeah. That's where things are really getting interesting, because the Trump administration, again, is trying to save money. So one way they can save money is by pulling the money from certain colleges. They've already done it to a handful, right? It's only going to expand from here. But not only that, they're just going to block international travel for people that are getting a visa to go to certain colleges or from certain locations. So that's interesting, but that could also hurt the U.S. economy depending on how many people are actually being blocked at this time. So we'll see what happens there. Here's some more big news just out this morning. It says Trump holds call with President Xi Jinping, the Chinese media says. Well, what exactly are they saying, and what was this call about? Well, let's read a little bit. It says President Donald Trump held a phone call with Chinese President Xi Jinping. Chinese media outlet Xinhua reported on Thursday. The call was initiated by Trump. Beijing's Ministry for Foreign Affairs said in a subsequent statement. The White House did not immediately respond to CNBC's request for a comment on the report, but the stock market, the futures market, rose because of this call. Now, do I think there's anything on this call? Probably not. China does not want to play with President Trump. They just don't. Okay, I said this before. I'll say it again. President Trump said that, yeah, China and the United States are close to a deal. I don't think we're close to a deal. Okay? The United States hasn't gotten any agreement with other countries. China's probably going to be the last one. China is so big, so powerful. I don't see them being the first one to sign a trade agreement with the United States. I just don't see it. It just doesn't make sense. So that right there could mean there's more pressure on businesses here in the United States. There's going to be more pressure on individuals as well. So just be prepared. Here's an interesting story. It says Hooters closes over 30 restaurants suddenly. Company calls it a difficult decision. It says right here, the restaurant chain Hooters abruptly closed over 30 locations across multiple states on June 4th. That was yesterday. Hooters said in a statement that to USA Today that the closed stores were company-owned and called the closures a difficult decision. Here's what's going to happen. We've already seen this happen in certain locations to certain different restaurants, but there are many businesses that are company-owned, whether it's a hotel chain, whether it's a restaurant, okay, it doesn't matter. There are certain companies, certain locations that are company-owned. Those locations seem to be the ones that are shutting down faster than any other. This could be a telltale sign of what is to come. Because again, there's a lot of company-owned businesses. If all of them shut down, we're going to see hundreds of thousands of people lose their jobs. But is that just showing us what's going to happen in the future when franchise-owned companies shut down? Potentially. Hooters is an iconic restaurant. It's been around for 30 plus years. This is something that many people know. What is this? Really, you go to Hooters, you know what you're going to get. You know what you're going to see. Right? That's what it is. So it's interesting that this is happening at this time. Again, the company didn't respond to a follow-up from this article, but I thought this was very interesting. Okay, they're saying the company's here to stay, but they're going with the franchisee model. That's what they're doing. It says there's currently 305 Hooters locations, including 151 owned and operated by the company itself, and a separate 154 operated by franchisees. The company has been closing locations suddenly since at least 2024. So we're going to see what happens, but what I can tell you right now is if I were one of these franchisees, I would be a little bit concerned the direction of this company. Because again, Hooters, there's been speculation that Hooters was going to go out of business. So we'll see what happens in the very near future, but the tariffs on other countries is not helping Hooters one bit. So we'll see, but that's what we know as of today. So again, thank you guys for watching. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.